All right, welcome to the video. So today we're going to take this truck and we're going to go to Hunter Shop and I'm going to try to make 1,000 horsepower today. So took the truck out to the track last weekend. It went 138 in the quarter mile based on the weight, which I took it to the scale the other day. Based on the weight of 3780, it's making around 760. That was on 16 pounds. We're going to take it to the dyno, turn the boost controller up a little bit. Wastegate made 13, so 50% on the controller should make around 26. And hopefully 26 should be around what we need to make 1,000. That's the goal. Summit Pro LS pistons and rods, stock crank, VS Racing 67, 62s, Snake Eater 1400s, TBSS intake, BTR Stage 2 twin turbo cam, Circle D converter. I built the engine, I built the transmission, I built the truck, did all the welding. So I hope it doesn't fall apart. I do have a drive shaft safety loop on it. It's got strange front and rear billet yokes, 4-inch steel drive shaft. So this is going to be kind of the street truck test. I'm going to drive it to the dyno and then try to make 1,000 and drive it home. I should be able to do it. The fuel system is there, injectors, like everything should just be able to do it. So dyno's about a 40-minute drive. So I'm going to jump in this thing, top off the tank with E85, and we'll drive it there, put it on the dyno, see what we get out of it, and drive it home. All right, so it's like 2 hours later. I'm on the road now. I started the truck, backed it out of the garage into the driveway, shut it off, went in to go shut the garage door, went to go start it, just heard a click, nothing, like everything was dead, no power to anything. That for a while, fixed some grounds, and then I put the multimeter on the battery while the dash was clicking, because the dash was doing this weird clicking, and the dash relays trying to turn on was dropping the battery to 5 volts. Alrighty, well we made it to Hunter Shop. He's putting the straps on right now. The drive was pretty good. It's just, I'm deaf now from the thing droning so much. So I'll have to do some exhaust or something, but it's kind of a long drive. Other than that, temps and everything were good. When I got here, the trans temp was 100 degrees after a 40-minute drive, and the coolant temps were like under 190 the whole time. So it would get up to 190 and then the fans would turn on and it would come down to 180, and it would take like 5 minutes to go from 190 down to 180 and shut the fan off. So that was pretty good. So let's get this thing situated and then start doing something.
You want to watch speed and at like 55 or 60 hit it? Alright. And I'll remember to hit this. Stay in it a little while longer.
I saw like 6,800, so I don't know.
Well, it might have flashed up to that. It might have spun or something. It probably would have grabbed. Eventually, that was only like 95 miles an hour.
Really?
Yeah. 95.9.
All right, so I'll kind of cut into the video here and there to explain some stuff because I just had the camera set up, so there was probably a lot of conversations that were missed. I was kind of more focused on just like running the truck and trying to make sure I didn't mess anything up there with like remembering the data log and getting used to driving on the dyno. So what happened on that initial pull was I had the boost controller set like I would normally launch it on the two-step, where I have 100% controller until my two-step RPM, so it pins the gate shut until two-step RPM. What ended up happening was it basically blew the tires off on the dyno and it was just spinning. And you can hear him say in the video that it was only like 90 miles an hour, but the log was reading like 150 mile an hour wheel speed. So it spun really bad because I hit it with the 100% duty cycle up to like 4,000 RPM, and it just spun the tires. So the reason I lifted so quick too was I saw like 6,800 RPM in third gear, so I lifted and got out of it. And what he's explaining to me is that like on the dyno, it feels weird because it'll like flash up and then it kind of catches and hangs at that RPM. So it will flash up, come up on RPM really quick, and then it kind of hangs, and then it will run itself up into normal RPM range once the dyno's nice and loaded, and then it comes up like normal. So it took like probably 3 pulls for me to get used to that feeling. And then after this one, I also adjusted the boost controller so I could ramp it in basically from 0. And then I was at the peak duty cycle for the pull by like 5,300 RPM just to not hit it so hard in the beginning, get the wheel speed up high enough where it wasn't going to downshift. So there's one clip where it actually does downshift, and I'll point that out, where you can hear it downshift to 2 and then back to 3 really quick. So we're just kind of like teaching me how to use the dyno, basically.
You should be good. Yeah, I just reset it. It should be okay. It's not quitting.
Got stuck. It was like 6,300 and just stopped.
811. You were cooking. 160, 158. But once it grabbed, it sounded great.
Sounded clean.
The load, it sounded good.
Yeah, it felt totally different. Exactly what you said. Yeah. I saw like 63, 64, and it just like fucking sat there.
And then it was loaded, and you were ripping.
Yep. I forgot to log that time.
That's okay.
All right, so actually stayed in a little bit longer this time. It's a little hard to get used to, but that one was 8:12. So we'll just try to do that again, maybe a little more boost. All right, so that was at 35% on the boost controller. We're gonna go to 40%. That was 8:12, and let's see what this does. Going 35% to 40% only made like 1 more pound, so we went to 48 now. At that time it actually downshifted, went 3-2, and then it did a 2-3 shift, so we're just gonna redo that one. So it didn't really pick up anything, so I gave it another 12% on the controller, see what that does. Turned the boost cut up a little bit because it was at 21 pounds and I had the revert to wastegate boost cut at like 22. So I turned the boost cut up to 30, and we'll see what this does. Sounds happy either way.
Need a little more.
Only a little?
Huh?
Only a little?
What? 854?
850?
It picked up a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so we went to 75 now.
your mile an hour.
I gotta do the Hunter tune.
All of it?
Woo!
That was all the mile an hour.
Yeah, I stayed in it a little long that time. I hit the boost cut at 28. Yeah, so I hit the boost cut. We had the boost cut at 28.
What happened?
Boost cut.
Boost cut?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good then.
Should have set it to 42. At least it didn't seem like it hit it right away. Like it stayed in it for a little bit, so it's probably
Creeping a little
close to leveling off.
Right, right.
All right, so at this point I was starting to have like some control issues where we were creeping up on it like 40%, 50%, 60. We got up to like 75% and it only added like 3 pounds of boost. And I figured it was because I had the vent for the 3-port, like 4-port setup. And I think the vent was just too big, so it wasn't actually able to apply as much to the top as I was asking for, and it didn't really make any changes. So what we tried to do from this point was we just added a T in the line to apply equal to top and bottom, hoping it would make around 26, but it actually hit boost cut at 28 and 30. It was consistently making 850s quite a few times. Weren't really getting much adjustment on the boost controller. So eventually just went back to hooking it up like a regular 3-port. So we felt like we only needed like 26 pounds to get to 1,000. And we already hit boost cut at 30 pounds twice. I know I wasn't going to need 30 pounds. So hooking it up like normal 3-port would double what it is on wastegate. So, and it makes 13 on gate. So we hooked it up like regular 3-port, which is actually how it's set up now. I just kind of threw it in there and zip tied it. So we just teed it off here, hooked it up like regular 3-port. And then figured I don't need to make 30. We hit boost cut at 30 already twice. So I'd hook it up like 3-port, go back down to like 50% duty cycle. So that would fall somewhere in between gate at 13 pounds and 30 pounds. So it ended up landing on like 18 pounds at 50%. So then we were able to just go from there and actually start making incremental gains from that 850s range, and then it progressed to the 900s, and that's what we'll get into now. It still hit boost cut at like 2830 with just the line T to go to top and bottom. So we hooked it up like regular 3-port, 50% controller, and we'll go from there. Probably only do a couple more because I gotta get home, I gotta work, and Hunter's gotta go, so. So 50% made 18 and a half, so we went up to 70. All right, he said that one made 899, so we'll go look see what how much boost it was.
Damn!
957?
957? So that picked up 58 horsepower, and it was like like 1 degree and like 1 pound of boost, or like a half a pound of boost and a degree and a half or something like that, and it picked up 58. So we added 1 more degree and then 5% more on the duty cycle. We'll see what that does. So that last one was 986. Whew. All right, so that one made 986. I gave it like another 8% on the controller. We'll see what that does. It's like making still 26 pounds. So we added duty cycle, boost stayed the same. So it was really just a timing change, and it picked up 29. So I'll get another 8%, keep the timing the same, and see what it picks up. What'd it do?
1,007.
1,007?
Yeah.
All right, we're done. All right, 1,007. It's just the Ford Ranger, guys. That's pretty exciting. All right, so it made 1,007, but I'm a genius and I didn't data log it, so we don't know how much boost it made. So we're gonna do another one, try to back it up.
Now we know it's for sure 1,000 horsepower. If it does it twice.
Right, but it'll do 999.
Right.
But at least we'll be able to see how much boost it made. All good?
Yep.
All right, logging. All right, so just did that other one. Made 1017, but now we're thinking Hunter's made 1017. So we got to look at his video. I think that's exactly what his made.
If you see here, he stayed in it a little longer, so it actually was able to probably make a little more boost at a little higher RPM. You got out of it a little early on the first run, so just staying in it a little longer
Made a little bit more.
10 horsepower.
All righty, backed it up. Let's see if we actually have a log now. All right, so on my way home, made 1017. I got about a 40-minute drive, half a tank of fuel left. So let's go. All right, so we're probably about 20 minutes in to the drive. Just chilling, just cruising. Coolant temp is 184, the fan's not even on. It's pretty cold outside though. Trans temp's 105. We made it. Drove it there, 1,000 horsepower, drove it back. Pretty happy about that. This thing is loud. It is not fun to drive long distance. My ears are like, bah. I didn't go very fast. A lot of fumes in the cab, so I need to get out of here, but accomplished the goal today. All right, so big thanks to Hunter, of course, for letting me use the dyno and helping out with this. His car has a very similar setup to this, and they ended up basically right in the same spot. So my map sensor, I think, is off. It's reading a little high. A key off, it was reading like 112. We figured out when we were there. So it read 27.5, and his was at 26 when it made 1017. So it's kind of funny how close they are when they're similar setups. Mine was 1017.36 and his was 1017.66. So really cool that they're that close in power, and they were even picking up the same amount of power per pound of boost. They were both still gaining about 20 horsepower per pound when they made 1017. So I feel like it's in a pretty good spot. But yeah, thanks Hunter for letting me come hang out. Go check out his channel, Hunter Tuned, and go to his website and buy some shit, huntertuned.com. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. So things are just like kind of coming together on this build. So working out well. Thanks for watching.